welcome back to Taking Trades. If we haven't met, my name is Jimmy, and this is my YouTube channel dedicated to day trading, where I show live trades without any subscription fees. No courses, nothing to sell, just sharing information. So today is January 23rd, 2019, and it was a choppy one for me. I had some success, and then overall just had some failure. So I ended up red on the day. I took a few good trades that worked, and I didn't take profit at the right time. So my bigger winners became very small winners, and then I had a couple of losses, and overall it just wasn't a good day for me. So I want to show you a couple of them. I think I overtraded today. I definitely overtraded today, and I just should have taken profit quicker. I was trying to hold my winners a little longer, and it actually backfired on me. So I want to go ahead and show a couple of the trades. We'll dive into them, we'll break them down. Like always, please hit that subscribe button, leave comments below. I want to hear what you guys traded today, and let's jump into it. Let's dive in. So I started my day off with natural gas, watching it again this morning, just kind of checking things out, seeing where we were going to go. And I brought up /NG. This is the 1 hour chart. This was from yesterday, sort of that nice sell-off we had. Then last night, we were kind of in this area here. It seemed like we were getting a little bouncing around and sort of just kind of felt like we might roll and go today, and it looks like we did, and then we've recovered a little bit in here. So I was watching, that's the 1 hour, here's the 5-minute chart. So we kind of sold off a little today, and now it looks like later on we've been kind of pushing upwards. So I'm going to dive into taking a peek over here at, actually, so let me bring up DGAS. So as I saw things selling off, I thought, okay, today's going to be a DGAS day. And when I brought things up, or when I got in this morning and started checking this out, I could see in this window right here, from here to there, absolutely nothing happened. I was so it just felt choppy and bouncy, and like we were just ranging from about here down to about here. Just up, down, up, down, up, down. Weren't set in a direction. I couldn't identify that, so I didn't feel comfortable taking any trades on it. So I passed on DGAS, and if you stay tuned to the end of the video, I'm going to show you what made me cry later in the afternoon, and you may already know what that item is, or why, or what I'm going to show you. But I'm going to flip back over. So I was then looking around, started looking at Facebook. I trade large cap stocks, when ETFs aren't moving around, when they're having trouble. So, I like to trade ETFs and large cap stocks. So I looked at Facebook, I looked at AMD, and I looked at Alcoa today. And so I saw this sell-off, and it looked nice, and so I decided to maybe get involved with that. So I want to show you a video from my entry on Facebook, and it was actually a nice move. So this is my winner. This is the stock that made me feel okay this morning, and what I saw was this initial push down, and then it tested this whole dollar amount. Now remember, we talked about psychological support and resistance levels. So that are at the whole dollar and half dollar. So this 145 is clearly some nice psychological support that we're bouncing off of. And you can see I've got the parabolic SAR. Now, as it pulled back, I said, okay, I'm going to watch it. If it breaks the parabolic SAR and it flops down here and we start to change trend, then that's one thing. But if it pulls back to it and then continues, that's a perfect pullback entry point. So I went ahead and just watched it, and as I play this video, you can see that it bounced off that point, and I apologize, I missed the entry. I entered right at the close of this candle. So I'm in at 145.36. So what was nice about this, and what made this trade great, was I put the order out, got in at 45.36, which I felt was a great entry point. I had my stop, set nice and tight. That's what I liked about this trade the most, was that my risk was very, very low, because I knew if it pushed up and it switched the parabolic SAR to the bottom, that I would want out anyway. So it was kind of an easy no-brainer place to put my stop loss. So I did that and then put a target down here, and I went ahead, and I think I had the target set initially at $2. And as I play this, you can see it pushes down, and I'm watching it to test that psychological support level 145. So it pushes down, and I'm watching and waiting and hoping, and then it pulls back, doesn't break the parabolic SAR, and then decides to push down, pull back a little bit, and then boom. And look at that. Completely broke down. So now we're in a situation where I've got some nice profit, we've broken down, and I've now set a new lower low, which keeps me in the trade. So now I'm hoping to push down, possibly pull back for a lower high, go for a lower low, and just kind of continue, so on and so forth. So I'm trying to be the mature trader I'm trying to become. So I think, okay, I'm going to keep holding, not going to back out of the trade. And as I advance this a little more, it pushes down, and then I sort of fast forward there, but you can see it sort of bottoms here and pulls back on me, which I'm okay with, because then I just thought we'd roll over and go again. But instead what happens is it keeps kind of messing around here underneath that 145 level, and I felt fairly comfortable with it until it decided that it wanted to start to bump that SAR. So you saw that was a nice example of being able to see that parabolic SAR dot drop to the bottom and then stop me out. Pushed up above, broke my stop loss, and I got filled at 145.16. So I was up $75, $80, and then as I walked my stop loss down, luckily I did that. You know, that's a habit that I'm in. But when it finally went against me and didn't work, I ended up with a $20 profit. So, you know, it kind of is what it is. It was disappointing. But that was my trade on Facebook. So then moving on to trade I took on Amazon. So here's a loser, and we'll kind of talk about what happened here. But I'll play this video for the entry here. So what I was seeing here was, you know, we moved up, and I thought, okay, I'm not really interested yet, pulled back, and I thought it could be a long, we'll just keep watching, we'll see what happens. And then it sort of sold off beyond this middle band, put in one small doji green candle, and then continued. So I took this as sort of a change in direction, because we broke the open from the day, and we even broke the previous low of the day. So I was okay thinking that this might be a short opportunity. So it pulled back, and as it pulled back, it kind of came up to my parabolic dot, and I put out the order. So you can see I got filled there at 28.09, and I feel really good about this. I've got my stop in place right above the parabolic dot, and it pulled up against me. I was just kind of going to let it play out and see if we could get below and then run for a lower low, but then it broke that button. You can see it drop the dot down here. We're changing trend, and this thing just completely runs against me. And there it went, 28.18. I got stopped out, $46 loss. So it was just kind of a choppy day like that today. I thought, you know, I had a few trades that went well, few trades that didn't. I had some other chop. Took a couple more trades on AMD today, just trying to get entries. Got chopped up and down, and took a loser, took a winner. Everything just kind of seemed small and inconsistent, and I overtraded. And you know, it's just one of those days where you finish trading and you just feel like, oh man, I'm ready for tomorrow. So I'm gonna stop the video there, get rid of that, and then yeah, so that was my day. It was really like uneventful. So I apologize for, well, to myself for overtrading. But I want to hear how you guys did. Tell me what you traded. Ask me any questions. Let's talk about any swing trades you held over the night. And we will definitely be back at it tomorrow morning, where hopefully we'll get a little more direction out of the gate. I think the most important thing to watch for is on degas and on natural gas is we just have to get that direction in the morning so we know where we're going. If it's going to pinball around and not declare a direction, then I think we need to just sit on our hands and wait. And in that case, go hunting for other things. And for me, that's typically large cap stocks, Facebook, Alcoa, AMD, sometimes Zillow, Roku, some of those. But I want to bring up, because I promised you I would show you what made me cry later in the day. So degas. Let me explain one thing about degas and natural gas real quick. I want to show you something on the daily chart, and this is actually kind of interesting. This is something that I've been focusing more on. But so when I was looking at the daily chart, I kind of leave my lines on here and like my historical comments and stuff just so I can reference them. And one thing I honed in on was this gap right here. Now, if you don't know anything about gaps, they're really interesting because they act as vacuums. If price action gets close to a gap, a lot of times it'll just suck, it'll cross the gap. Stock action wants to close gaps, and that's just something that happens, and it's really powerful. And if you can identify them and get good entries, they can be of huge benefit. So here's what happened today because of that. We had this gap, and then we actually gapped above. So we had, like a double gap going. I don't know if that's more powerful than a single gap, but it kind of makes sense that it would be. So what you can see happen here was as it came down, we're set up right here today. We were just hovering over the gap. So I had made a note this morning. I just said, I think we're going to go lower because we've got this gap hanging out and it's going to want to vacuum fill it. And that's exactly what happened. So the gaps are really powerful. And if I switch back over to degas, you'll see on the daily chart, degas had a gap right here as well. So it's wanting to vacuum fill above. So you can almost think of it as if the gap is above the price action, it's going to act like a vacuum from above and suck it up. So, and look what happened today. It pushed it up. And it's not all the way across the gap, so we could get more price action tomorrow to the upside. So if I go to the 5-minute time frame, here's what made me cry. I got bounced around and got, tired and bored of this. Here's the top or the bottom of the gap. I marked it off on my chart, and look what happened. The minute it crossed into the gap, it got hoovered right up. If you would have had any size position when it crossed this gap line, you'd have gone from 81 to 89 and change, and that's just massively powerful. So this made me cry. I thought, oh, that's your whole day profit. If I'd have taken 50 shares, 75 shares, and ridden this up, that would have been it. So learning, always learning. So let's focus on gaps. Let's focus on good price action, and let's kind of plot out a plan for tomorrow, and let's look for direction in the pre-market hours so that we can decide yes or no. We are sitting on our hands or we're not. If we're getting that pinball action and it's not looking good, we're sitting on our hands. If it looks good and we've got a direction up or down, then we'll make our decision on whether or not we're trading degas or ugas. So hit that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up, comment, let me know what you traded, and we'll be back at it tomorrow. Thank you.